Hello everyone! Happy Tuesday! It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gersa. I'm an independent demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, and I am super excited to share with you today these 3 projects made using products from the new coordination product release. Now, before we get to the projects, I want to talk for a few minutes just about some things that are going on this week. So first of all, we are in the midst of my Customer Appreciation Week. If you missed my live video from last Saturday, you may have missed me announcing a couple of really cool programs. First of all, my Mahalo Bingo is happening right now. Now, this is a fun way for you to earn free items and draw tickets for my Grand Prize giveaway. So this weekend, I am giving away the Little Ladybug stamp set and coordinating dies. Now, these dies just became available today as part of the coordination product release. And this Little Ladybug stamp set is one of the host exclusive items during Sale-a-bration. So this weekend, I'm giving away both of these, the bundle, in a draw. And ways that you can earn tickets to enter the draw are by completing lines on my Mahalo Bingo card. Now, this is available for download on my Facebook page. If you can't find it, you just shoot me a message and I will send you a copy. It is not too late to join us. There's still lots of time to get in on this awesome opportunity to win that fantastic bundle. So that is the first thing I wanted to mention. The second thing I wanted to mention is that on Saturday, I also launched my new a la carte crescendo rewards program. Now, this is an opportunity for you to earn circles or punches, so to speak, on your card towards a free stamp set. So for each circle on your card, you have to spend $25. We're in Canada, so $25 Canadian. That's product amount, not including shipping and tax. And for every $25, you're going to get a circle on your card. When you reach 20 circles, you're going to receive a free stamp set valued at $30 or less. Pretty great deal. Plus, I'll also pay the shipping and tax on your free stamp set. This is also available for download on my page, and this does not expire. So you can download it and start tracking your purchases, and once you hit 20 circles, you just snap a quick photo, send me a photo of your completed card, and I will send you your stamp set. Okay? No expiry on these, so you can start collecting now and redeem them as soon as you have your 20 circles filled. Okay? All right. My throat, if you're just wondering, guys, it's a little sore today. My voice is not at its best, so if you're wondering why I sound a little flat, that is why. So we're going to get to some stamping in just a minute. I just wanted to show you the flyer for this new product release. So there are 6 products that have just gone live today. All of these are available while supplies last. So if there's something that catches your eye, I'm going to suggest you get on it and order it sooner than later. So we have several coordinating dies. I already mentioned the ladybug dies. Okay, those are the ones that I'm giving away this weekend. We are going to spend some time with the special day dies today, as well as with the birthday dies and the awesome Pleases Punch designer paper. So we're going to spend some time with those as well. So let's get to some stamping. We are going to start with this adorable little raccoon card. So this little guy, I just think is just too cute. Is he not adorable? Hello, Giselle. How are you? Thanks for joining me live. I'm glad you made it. I should mention, folks, that this host code that is listed here is my current host code, and it is eligible for the Mahalo Bingo card. Okay, so if you're playing Mahalo Bingo along with me, this is the host code that you need to use to place your order. Okay? All right, let's get to this cute little raccoon. So for this one, I used the new special day dies. Now, these coordinate with a stamp set from the mini catalog. I'll just quickly show you where that stamp set is. It's on page 36. Okay, it's this one here. It's just adorable. It's only $22 here in Canada. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. Hi, Elfie. So that's the stamp set, $22 only in Canada. The dies are $39. Now there is no bundle option for these dies because these are a special out of product release. Okay, so this is a limited time release and will only be available while supplies last. So we are going to use this stamp set and these dies to create this cute, cute, cute little raccoon card. So let's get to it. I'm going to pull out my supplies here. And I'm going to do a little stamping. All right, so we're going to start by stamping the detailed raccoon image. So I'm going to show you just a couple of little tips. Hi, Gail. How are you doing? For stamping your raccoon. So this stamp set comes with 2 stamps. So we have the detailed raccoon. You can probably see that you can see all the little hairs on his fur and his eyes and everything. And then we have a solid image that's going to fill it in. So when you're using these, depending on the darkest color, I tend to find that I use the darkest color for the detailed image. That's the one you're going to want to stamp first. Okay, so we're going to start with the Memento black ink and ink up our little raccoon, and we're going to stamp him just on a piece of scrap Whisper White cardstock. Okay, isn't he cute? He's adorable just like that. Oh goodness, I hope I just have a really sore throat, and it's been on and off for the last 3 days, so I'm hoping it doesn't develop into anything. Hi Alfie, I'm okay. I've got a bit of a sore throat today, so if my voice sounds a little off, that is why. I've been trying to rest my voice as much as possible. All right, so now I'm going to take some gray granite ink and ink up the solid raccoon stamp. Okay, now here are some tips. When you're trying to line this guy up, what you want to focus on are his nose and his eyes. So I'm just going to line this up. Now again, I'm not right over top of my stamped image, so this is a little bit of an extra challenge for me. But I'm looking at his eyes and his nose, and I'm going to try and line those up, and then also line up the rest of his body and see what happens. Hi, Wendy. How are you? Happy Tuesday. Oh, that wasn't too bad. I did all right. Not bad for looking off to the side. Oh, Debbie, don't tell me. Saltwater gargle. Okay, Alfie, I will try that. I've been using an antibacterial throat spray that has helped a little bit, so I will try the saltwater gargle as well. But look at how cute that little guy is. He's just so adorable. Now, if you are not fond of lining up 2-step stamp images, you could absolutely stamp him in black and then just use your Stampin' Blends to color him in, right? You don't have to use the solid stamp to fill him in, but really quick and easy to do that, okay? You could also use your Stamparatus, of course. All right, now we also have the balloons. The balloons are going to work the same way. I just need to grab my red ink pad. Forgot to bring that one over. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start with the balloons. We're going to stamp in the black. So I'm going to stamp the outline image of the balloon first. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the solid balloon image. Now you could totally just stamp the solid image. It totally works just with that image. You don't have to have the detail if you don't want to worry about lining them up. But again, I'm just going to try and do this. Again, I'm not looking directly on this, so this will just kind of hope and pray that maybe it lines up. Oh, that was actually pretty good. See how easy it is? You can even do it when you're not looking right on it. So I stamped 3 of these and die cut them using the special day dies. And I've already gone ahead and done that. So let's pull those pieces out. Actually, I'm going to pull all my pieces out of my bag here. Don't need my envelope right now. Get all these little guys out. And we're going to put this one together. All right. So here I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock. It is cut to 4 by 5 1/4 inches, and I've embossed it using the Absolutely Argyle embossing folder. This is a new one that's in the mini, and it has really great detail. Can you see that? I'm just trying to hold it up nice and close to the camera so you can see it. All right, so when we go to glue our little window on, I should just mention that I cut this window from the Neutrals DSP pack. This is the gingham. On the back side, it has that cute argyle. That would actually work kind of well on there, but I like the gingham. So I cut this using the new Stitch So Sweetly dies. Okay, that's what gave me the scallop rectangle. And then I just used my layering oval on the inside, and that created my little window. So our little raccoon, we are going to have peeking out of the window. So I'm going to actually glue him to the back side of that window. I'm just going to grab a little bit of fast fuse, and we're going to put just a little bit of fast fuse just along his feet there. We're not going to actually see his feet. So we're going to tuck him in right about there, just peeking out the window. Isn't he adorable? Oh, so cute. All right, now he's going to get popped up with some dimensionals. So we're going to grab just a couple of dimensionals. We got some fuzzies on there. And we'll put a couple of dimensionals on our raccoon. And then we'll just add a couple around the outside of our window frame here so that it stays nice and popped. And I actually just realized before I do that, I gotta put some twine on. So we're gonna just take these backings off and then set this piece aside. We're gonna add our twine. Hi Sue, how's the weather in Florida? I hope it's warmed up for you. Okay, so to do the twine, this is actually retired twine. I realized after I had put it on the card, I went, oh, yeah, this is from a couple Christmases ago. It is real red baker's twine. So I'm going to just take and put a glue dot on the back of my emboss piece. I'm going to actually do it on both sides. So this is just a little twine saving trick, okay? So rather than taking and wrapping a single length of twine around the card and wasting twine on the back, instead, I'm just going to fold that twine in half and adhere it on one end. Oh, I didn't do a very good job of folding in half. Let's try that again. Let's make sure it's actually folded in half. There we go. That's better. So I'm going to press one end into a glue dot, lay it across the front of my card, wrap it around the back, and press the other end into the glue dot. And there you go. You'd never know that that wasn't wrapped, right? But just a little twine saving trick for you, so you're not wasting twine on the back side of your card where nobody sees it. Okay? All right, now we're ready to go ahead and add our little window with our adorable little raccoon. So we're going to attempt to center this somewhat-ish. That's not quite centered. We're going to move them a little bit to the left. There we go. That's better. And we'll just press him into place like that. He's so cute. Oh, I love this little raccoon image. He's my favorite. Okay, so now we are going to stamp our sentiment. So I have here just a 1/2 inch by, I don't know, maybe it's 5 1/4, just a strip. It's a scrap that was an offcut from when I cut my panel. And I'm going to take some black ink and the happy birthday sentiment from the special day die or special someone stamp set. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that, not upside down, preferably, on that little strip. Okay. And then we're going to take our magical tailored tag punch and we're going to punch our ends. So I'm going to punch fairly close on the one end. Okay, and then on this end, I'm going to leave a little bit more room because I need space for my balloons and my twine bow. So I'm going to leave just a little bit more space. Okay, just like that. Alrighty, now we are ready to add our balloons. So we're going to go ahead first and adhere the sentiment strip to the front of our card. Now this is going to get popped as well. We're double popping today. Nothing wrong with that, right? Right, nothing wrong with double popped. So we're going to just put this onto the front of our card. And I kind of did it centered just underneath my little raccoon guy there. Okay. And then I have the balloon string. So these are die cut using the special day dies. So this particular die here cuts the balloons. Okay, really easy. And I'm going to take and put a glue dot. I'm just going to roll it into a little tube there and put it on the back side of my little balloon strings. And I'm just going to adhere that to my sentiment like that. Okay. Next, I'm going to add my balloon. So I'm going to add a dimensional to each one of these little balloons. So these again, I die cut ahead of time, just in the interest of getting through this in decent time. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere them just to the ends of those strings. So I'm not really worrying too much about adhering the ends of the strings. They're actually going to get caught and stuck down when I adhere the balloons. Actually, let's do this guy first. And then one more. Right. Yeah. There we go. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute, cute. All right, so last little touch here before we adhere it to the front of our card is to add a double bow. So this is the same twine that I used on the card. Again, I'm going to just roll a little tube of a glue dot and press the knot of the bow into that little tube, and that will adhere it. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and glue it onto our card base. This is a Night of Navy card base. It is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored in the middle at 5 1/2. I'm going to go ahead and fold along my score line, crisp it up with my bone folder, and then we're going to go ahead and adhere that. And do I have, oh, I don't have any, oh, there's my fast fuse. I was going to say, I could have sworn I had fast fuse here a minute ago. Nope, not going to work. This Argyle folder really deeply embosses, and I find the fast fuse does not work so well with the Argyle. So we're going to go ahead and use Tombow, which is just fine. So we'll just pop that onto the front of our card and just burnish it really well. And there we go. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love him. On the inside, I just added a stamped panel. This sentiment is actually from the Birthday Bonanza or Bonanza Buddies stamp set. And I added a few more balloons along with some stamped strings rather than the die cut ones on the inside. Okay, so that is card number 1. So cute. All right, let's get that out of the way. Just clear away a few stamps here. Make some space for card number 2. Card number 2 is super quick and easy thanks to the new Please Just Punch Designer Series paper. So this again is part of this Coordinations release, and I have to show you this paper because I am absolutely in love with it. In fact, I love it so much that I'm going to feature it next week. All 3 projects next week are going to use this paper. So let me show it to you and you will see what I mean. So the paper coordinates with a whole ton of punches from both Sale-a-bration and the mini. Okay, so we have the umbrellas, okay, which coordinates with the umbrella builder punch. Okay, this one, that's from the mini. Then we have tulips, which coordinate, of course, with the tulip builder punch, also from the mini. Then we have hearts, which coordinate with the heart punch, also from the mini. And then we have these blossoms, which coordinate with the blossom punch. Oh, it would look cute with a meerkat in the window, Gail. You are right. So we are going to be focusing on this particular paper today and what is on the reverse side, which is this awesome rainbow pattern. So the reverse sides of this paper are just as cute as the front side. So we have rainbows. We have gingham, which I'm going to use on the last card. We have just a great granny apple green stripe. And then we have raindrops. Okay, can you say spring? This paper is just so springy. I love it. I'm gonna get all these punches out of the way so that I can show you how to put this card together. Super quick and easy, as I mentioned. All the hard work is done by the DSP, really. DSP in your punch. So for this one, I used my blossom punch on the DSP. I punched out the whole sheet of DSP. I used the full blossoms, and I even punched, let me just show you. On my sample, I even punched the ones that are along the edge of the DSP and used it to decorate the inside of my card. So even though I only got half a flower, it totally works because I glued it along the edge of the inside of my card. So don't waste those little blossoms on the edges of your DSP, okay? All right, so let me show you how to put this one together. So I started with just a piece of Whisper White cardstock. It is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. I embossed it using the basket weave folder. And then I took a piece of the rainbow pattern DSP. So this is on the reverse side of the blossoms, okay? And what I did is I actually took, I'll just show you on the original. I started with a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece, okay? So I cut a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. Then on each of the short ends, I marked at 1 inch. So 1 inch there and 1 inch there. Put it into my trimmer and cut, lining up those 1 inch markings, okay? And then I got 2 identical pieces that I could use on 2 cards. Okay, so that's just a little tip for how to cut that. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and glue that rainbow piece. No, I'm not. I almost forgot. We're going to add, hi Anne, happy Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and glue this cute little stitch scallop border. So this is cut using the Be Mine stitched dies. And it has this adorable little scalloped stitched border piece. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of fast fuse along that angled edge on my DSP. Oopsie, let's get my blossoms out of the way. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and just adhere that right along. So I left it, I don't know, about a 1/16 of an inch maybe up from the stitching, just because I wanted to make sure that stitching was visible. Okay, then all I did is I took my snips and trimmed straight up along the edge of the DSP. And that gave me an adorable little stitched border along my angled edge. Okay. Oh, Wendy, I love this folder too. This is one of my go-to folders, especially for spring. I use it a ton. It screams spring and Easter to me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive to my DSP piece. And I'm going to glue it now flush with the top edge of that embossed white piece. So I'll just glue that down so it's nice and snug right up to the edge like that. Okay. All right. Then I have several punched blossoms. Okay. So you're going to notice there's a darker blue and a lighter blue. So I used both the light and the dark. And what I did when I glued them on is I kind of lined them up with the corresponding color on the rainbow pattern DSP. Just like that. Okay, so we're going to add just mini dimensionals to the back of each one of these little blossoms, and they fit just perfectly with a mini. You probably could squeeze a full-size dimensional on there, but why? Just use a mini. They fit perfectly. And then I just lined up my blossoms, as I said earlier, with the corresponding color on the rainbow. So we'll get rid of our backings and just pop these on here. Hi Martine, I love the colors too. They just, I'm so ready for spring and for color. It's only February, it's only early February, but I am done with winter gray. Let me tell you, I cannot wait to see those spring blossoms peeking through. All right, so there is my base of my card. Now we're going to go ahead and glue that onto our card front, or sorry, our card base. This is a thick whisper white piece. It is 4 1/4 by 11, scored in the middle at 5 1/2. So I'll fold it in half along my score line. And then we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to use some Tombow again, just because my fast fuse is not cooperating these days. And we're going to pop that on centered onto that card base. Just like that. Okay, isn't that cute? Oh, so springy. All right, next I have a stitched label. This is cut using those Stitch So Sweetly. I keep getting the name wrong. The new dies from the mini catalog. It has label dies and those scalloped rectangles, which are just adorable. So this is one of the label dies. And I am using this Hello Sunshine sentiment, which is from, where did I put it? This stamp set, the Under My Umbrella set. And I'm going to be featuring this in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for more with this one. But I'm going to just use the sentiment today because I thought it just totally worked for rainbows and flowers. And we all need a little sunshine on gloomy winter days. So we're going to go ahead, I'm stamping this in Smoky Slate ink, just like that. And then I'm going to add one more little punched blossom. I hope. Yes, there he is. And I'm just going to take a glue dot. Thanks, Martine. I'm glad you like it. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of glue dots just to the back of my little blossom here. And I'm just going to tuck them right up in that, not covering up my sentiment, just up in the corner like that. Okay, and then I'll add a couple of dimensionals to the back of my label. Whoopsie. Come here, are you backing? And we're going to pop that on right about there. Isn't that cute? All right, the last touch is to add a little bling because, well, why not, right? Bling is always a good idea. So I've just got some rhinestones here, and I'm going to pop one in the center of each one of my little punched blossoms. And we will have a beautiful, sparkly, springy, happy, sunny, just for any occasion card. I love sending cards for no, whoopsie, that one did not go in the center. Let's get that in the middle. There we go. Okay, there we go. Isn't that cute? Thank you, Inga. I'm really happy that you like it. Thanks for watching today. So again, I'll just show you on the inside. I left it blank because this could be for any occasion, right? And then on the inside, again, these are the edges of my DSP. So if I have my DSP sheet, you'll see when you get your DSP, there are all sorts of partial blossoms along the edges. Don't waste those. Use your punch and punch them out, and then use them along the edge of your card. Okay? Super quick, super easy, but so cute. This paper is fantastic. And like I said, I'm going to be featuring it next week. Okay? All of our cards next week are going to use this paper. All right, moving on to our last card today, and that is this beautiful, this could be a birthday card, this could be a wedding card, it could be for anything, it just says celebrate, so it could even be a shower. So many possibilities with this particular stamp set. Now, the good news about this is the stamp set is free. It is a Sale-a-bration freebie. So you can get this as one of your choices when you spend $60 in Sale-a-bration, okay? And, excuse me, we have now coordinating dies that will cut out not only the cake, okay, there's our cake, but also just the flowers. So that makes it much more versatile. You can use just the flowers without the cake. All right, so that makes this particular stamp set really versatile. And then of course we have a cake plate and then some leaves and some sprigs. So we're going to use several of those today. And I'm going to show you how I put this one together. So let's start with our cake. So I went ahead and did some coloring on this ahead of time. I guess I better grab my markers. We're going to need those. There we go. But I'll just show you, I left one set of flowers there uncolored so I could show you how to do it. Okay, so for starters, I stamped my cake in memento black, but I stamped off once, and that gives it just a softer look. It's not quite as stark black, almost a basic gray. I did try doing this with basic gray, but because I was stamping on shimmery white cardstock, I found I was still getting a bit of bleeding with the basic gray. So I used the memento black, stamped off once on shimmery white cardstock. I'm not sure how well that shows, but it is quite pretty and shimmery. And it just gives a softer stamped image. Okay. All right. Now to color my flowers, I am using my dark and light petal pink Stampin' Blends. Okay, so I'm going to start coloring this last flower. I'm putting down just a layer of the light all over. Okay, and if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that I highly recommend when you are coloring with your blends, laying down that first layer of light, which will make it easier to blend your darker colors. Okay. I just have found that I get a better blend. Okay, next I'm going to come in with my dark, and I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow, really where it's shown, like there are already little hash marks on the image, and then also on those petals where they're kind of folded up. Okay, and that's just a little bit of shadow there. And then I'm going to come back with my light, and I'm going to blend those out. And it's such a pretty image that just adding that little bit of shading just really makes it pop. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. All right, now to do my cake, all I did really is there's some lines on the stamped image. So I just took my light petal pink and I just kind of went over those lines just to add it. I didn't color the whole cake. You certainly could if you wanted to, but I just added just a hint of color to that, and it's just enough, and it still makes those flowers pop. If I colored the whole cake in the pink, the flowers wouldn't show up as well. Okay. All right, so now let's take and color in our leaves. I'm using the light mint macaron for the leaves. I didn't do any shading on the leaves. You certainly could if you wanted to. I knew I was doing a video here, so I didn't want to take a lot of time doing shading on this particular card, but you certainly could. I'm just adding just the light to each one of the leaves here, and then this little sprig of leaves as well. Just adding a little bit of the green. Okay, and then finally I'm going to come in with my light So Saffron, And I'm going to color the center of my flower and then these little sort of berries here with the saffron. And that's that. Really simple. Okay, not a ton of coloring, so it's a great one if you are not great at coloring, you don't feel too good about your coloring skills. It's a good one to start with. Now, when we assemble the cake, we are going to do a little bit of trimming. So here is our cake plate. This is the one that cuts out, or is cut out with the dies. And you'll see if I go to put that on there, it doesn't line up. So we have to actually cut off this cake plate so that we can add it. Oh, the stamp set is coming for you, Martine. That's awesome. You are going to love it. You're going to need to get these dies because they make the stamp set so much more versatile because you can cut out just the flowers. All right, so now you're going to see when I go to glue this on, it's going to wrap around that cake and look like it's sitting right on the cake tray. Okay, so to do that, what I did is I took and I put half a glue dot, if that makes any sense. So I kind of just laid my cake over so that I've got half a glue dot showing. And what that does when I go to glue this on, it's going to adhere. Whoopsie. Let's try and get that straight. It's going to adhere to that cake tray. Okay, and it just sits like that. All right. Okay. Next, I have some little sprigs and leaves that I cut also using the birthday cake dies. And I'm going to just add a glue dot. So these are all, the sprigs in the cake plate are cut from champagne foil. So I'm going to add some little sprigs behind the flowers at the top. And we're going to add some behind the flowers sort of down here, and one more. Where'd my other one go? There it is. We're going to add one more, just sort of peeking up there like that. Okay, then I've got some vellum leaves, so I cut these again using the same die set, just from some plain vellum. I thought about using colored vellum, and I actually tried it with the color, but I kind of, once I got it on there, I didn't like it too much. So I liked the white because it didn't take away from the flowers on the cake. If you want that to stand out, you want to keep everything else fairly neutral. So we're just going to tuck those in behind like that. Look at how easy it is to make a beautiful bouquet. Okay, now I have a stitched white cardstock circle. This is cut using the stitch shape dies. And I'm going to use the Celebrate stamp from the birthday cake stamp set. What's it called? It's not birthday cake. What's it actually called? Happy Birthday to You is the name of the stamp set. And again, I'm going to stamp in Smoky Slate ink. So I'm going to ink up my Celebrate, and I'm going to stamp this as close to the top as I can get, and still have it fit in between the stitching. Okay, so I don't have to worry about getting it too terribly straight because it's a circle. That's one of the advantages to stamping on a circle. So we're going to set that aside, and then we are going to adhere our cake to the circle so that the circle's kind of peeking out from behind the cake like that. All right, so I'm just going to take and put a little bit of fast fuse along the bottom of my circle and take my cake, and we're just going to kind of nestle it up. And this is where you do need to get your Celebrate straight. So you want to make sure that when you glue your cake on that your sentiment is going to be straight as well. Okay, and now we're ready to pop this onto our card. But first we're going to add a little bit of ribbon. So this is, and Heather, you were asking me about this ribbon. This is the Whisper White seam binding ribbon. It's wrinkled seam binding. This is part of the Poppy Suite, the Peaceful Poppies, Painted Poppies. And I'm going to take and just add a glue dot to the end of my roll here. I'm going to lay it across the front. Now this is that beautiful Please As Punch, yes, Proud as Punch, whatever, the new DSP that I just showed you. This is the pink gingham, okay, it's on the back side of the hearts. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere the one end there. I'm going to trim the excess off my roll and add another glue dot. So that, again, this is a ribbon saving trick, so you don't have to have ribbon wrapped around the back of your card where nobody sees it. Okay, then we're ready to glue our cake on. And it is going to get popped up with some dimensionals, so we'll just grab a few of those. And we'll pop a couple onto our circle. And a couple onto our cake. And then I'm going to use a couple minis down at the bottom, just to make sure the cake base does not flop around on us. We want to make sure it's secure. So we'll get rid of all of these backings. My husband always asks me why there's so many dimensional backings all over our house. I just smile and laugh. It's just, it is what it is. They multiply, I think. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and adhere my cake. And I'm not worrying about getting it perfectly centered because the Celebrate is going to be off center, right? So I'm just going to make sure that it fits onto my card nicely. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue it onto a card base. So this is a smoky slate card base. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. We're going to fold in half along the score line and crisp it up with our bone folder. And then I'm going to add just a bit of fast fuse to the back. And we're going to pop that onto the front of our card. Just like that. Okay, and then the last couple of touches, we're going to add a little bow. So here's your bow tying lesson for this week. So I'm using that same wrinkled seam binding ribbon. I'm going to make 2 little bunny ears. Okay, I'm making sure my ribbon is lying flat. It's not twisted. I'm going to cross my left bunny ear over the right. Oh, I let it, hang on. I need a longer tail. Let's try that again. Fingers are not working very well today, apparently. All right, so cross the left over the right, bring it through, and pull it tight. Now with this ribbon, you don't want to pull it super tight initially. You want to adjust the size of your loops first before you pull your bow nice and snug, okay? Otherwise it gets a little bit tricky to adjust the size of your loops, okay? So we just play around with it until we get something that we're happy with. Now the cool thing about this seam binding ribbon is you can color it with your Stampin' Blends. So any white ribbon colors really easily with the Stampin' Blend. So you can actually make any color coordinating ribbon, which is pretty awesome. Now I actually thought about coloring this petal pink, but I like the white. I like the subtleness of it. So we're gonna go ahead and just press the knot of that bow into a glue dot and pick it up, and we're gonna glue it right sort of where the ribbon and the cake meet there. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, the last touch is to add just a few little silver pearls. The pearls, I think, make this very much a wedding card. I don't know. Pearls to me speak wedding, but it doesn't have to be. It could absolutely be a birthday card. So I'm just going to add a couple of little silver metallic pearls. Just kind of tuck them in here and there. And there we go. There's our finished card. Isn't that pretty? I love this cake. It is beautiful. And honestly, believe it or not, this is the first time I've used it. Can you believe it? It is definitely not going to be the last. Now on the inside of my sample, I just added a Whisper White panel. I stamped Happy Birthday to You, which is from the stamp set. Okay, super simple. And that's it. Like, this could be such a simple card. You could make this a wedding card. Just put a congratulations on the inside. It could be whatever you like. Okay. Now, before I go, I just decided I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to this because, you know, why not? My Wink of Stella is sitting here unloved. So we're going to go ahead and add just a little extra shimmer. I did stamp this on shimmery white, so the whole image already sparkles. But we're going to make those flowers just pop a little bit more by adding just a little bit of Wink of Stella. I know you guys can't see this, but trust me, it's so pretty. Thank you, Giselle. I'm glad you like them. Let me pull in all 3 of our projects today and get all of my stuff out of the way. So we have 1, 2, and where's our little rainbow? 3. There we go. Aren't those cute? So again, if you are placing an order for my Mahalo Bingo, you're going to want to use that host code. This is my website, and make sure that if you are playing along with Mahalo Bingo that you get your completed bingo card into me by 8 p.m. at the late, well, actually 7:30 probably be better on Saturday, because I am going to do the live drawing at 8 p.m. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in this week. I will see you again on Saturday night at 8 o'clock for my live drawing of the grand prize for my Mahalo Bingo. And who knows, I might even do a little stamping with you on Saturday night too. Otherwise, I will be back next week. Next week, I will be a half hour earlier than normal because I have an early meeting. So I will be live at 4:30 next week. Okay? Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I hope you have a great week. Bye for now.